This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 154 of the Dressage Radio Show. Hello and welcome to the program. My guest this week is Swiss rider Christine Stuckelberger, who many of you will remember for her partnership with Granat, amongst many others. She was the 1976 Montreal gold medalist, where she also won a silver team medal as well. And she also earned team medals in the World Championships over 4 occasions and was the individual champion in 78, and she had won silvers in 82 and 86. And it was an amazing career that Christine had. She's still very involved in the sport, living in the north of Switzerland with her partner and long-term trainer. George Wahl, of course, has been her trainer for many, many years. And their successful partnership, of course, will be remembered by many who followed the sport over the years. I caught up with Christine recently to reflect on those golden years and also find out what she's doing these days. Well, Christine, welcome to the Dressage Radio Show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And it's nice to catch up with you because we both know so many people in Switzerland from, a long time ago, I think we should say.
Oh, yes, we do, yes. All horse people.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you have, of course, this wonderful connection with the Freddie Knie and the Circus Knie in Switzerland too, and you're still enjoying watching him train their horses.
Oh, yes, I do. I go tomorrow morning in his training and in the evening in the performance, and we are still very good friends, and I adore his way of riding and teaching from the ground the horses. He's really top in his way to do and to work with horses in a soft way, never in a hard way, and they understand so good, and I like it very much how he's training the horses.
And it was always remarkable when I was watching him back in the 60s, Christine, with his father, Freddie, of course, training these horses without a saddle, without a bridle, sometimes with the whip perhaps, but doing high school movements, and these horses were so happy in their work.
Yes, and easy to ride because I was sometimes allowed to ride the horses and were wonderful to ride. Light in the hand, good on the leg, and really, really good trained, really in a super submission, as we dressage riders should sometimes have better.
Yes, that is so true. And it's remarkable that actually his success is, we call it the circus, but really his performances and the quality of his training should be well beyond the circus arena.
Well, I think it's the best circus in the world with horses, absolutely, because I have seen so many circuses in so many countries, but it's really the best with horses. And that was also the reason why my trainer, Mr. Wahl, who was also on the Spanish riding school, Oberbereiter, he was for 4 years by Freddie Knie Senior to get taught about the fine riding, the finesse, how we say finesse, yes. In the French word, and also to some little, I cannot say tricks, but some things you don't learn in the Spanish riding school, for maybe Piaf Passage, a little help here, a little help there, and also the Spanish Etrit and the Walzer and all these things. And Mr. Wahl was really happy in these 4 years, and he learned so much with Freddie Knie Senior that time. And I think that's why he was so good in training also, because he had both schooling, the Freddie Knie schooling and the Spanish riding school.
Yes, it's a very interesting combination. You refer, of course, to George Wahl, who's been your trainer and partner now for how many years, Christine?
Oh, I don't know, many.
Long time.
Yeah.
A long time. And, of course, I knew his brother, Rudy, when I was working in Bern, and what a strong horse family they came from. A really natural horseman, very quiet horseman. It's a style that appealed to you when you first knew them, wasn't it? And you adapted that method of training with him.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. And his father was also an international driver. He was driving horses with 4 horses in the carriage.
Driving,
yeah.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also in international, and he was winning his father competition in Aachen for I don't know how many years, but many years.
Yes.
But he was a really good, also top horseman.
Yes, extraordinary. Now, he's trained you with, gosh, so many horses, Christine. I mean, we could make a whole book about the great partnerships that you've had. And people will remember your name immediately with, of course, Granat, that you did so well with. I think you called him Granny, didn't you, affectionately?
Yeah, that was Granny, yes. yes. Yeah, that was my best horse. And then Goga also was very successful because he is the most successful stallion in the world. He has 7 medals on Olympics, World Championship, Europe Championship, and he was nobody in Switzerland. Nobody wanted him. He was to buy for very cheap money. Nobody wanted him, and then he gets such a successful stallion.
Yes, it's an interesting story, that one, but I want to tell Granny's story, because that is a fascinating story. How you got him and how you kept him. He was going to be sold and then he wasn't. And then the secret that you kept about him all his career, which I think is remarkable. Tell everybody, Christine, how you first found him.
Well, I was looking after a second horse after my first horse, Mary Boy, that was a thoroughbred. And I was looking to a second horse, and then I was already in Vienna training, and by Mr. Walden. And then I heard that in Doyen, in Germany, south of Germany, is a stable who sells horses, and Mr. Wal was teaching the reiterin from this stable, and so we went in this stable to watch horses, to look for horses, and they had 3 horses for my choice. And 2 horses were very nice, a grey one, a bay one, but very, very expensive. And so Granat was the cheapest one, but not so good looking like the others, but he moves very nice. He had a fantastic rhythm, and so we decided to buy him. Then I took him to Vienna, and after 2 months or so, somebody said that he is blind on the right eye. And we said, "Oh, we can see nothing. It's not visible." And then they said that we should just check with the hand, and so he didn't react. And then we went to the clinic, and they recognized that they had even no. He couldn't see anything because even not dark or bright or everything. It was just nothing on the right eye. But we kept this secret until the end of his career because we always thought maybe when the church knows what happens with his eye, maybe we have what's the opposite of advantage?
A disadvantage, yes.
Yeah, genau, yeah.
Yep.
And so we kept this until we finished the career, definitely, yeah.
Yes, that was extraordinary. But he was not an easy horse, despite being blind in one eye. He was very, very strong, wasn't he, for you? And I think George had to ride him a lot of the time at home. Because you're not very tall, are you, Christine?
Yeah, but Granat wasn't really big. He was just powerful, but he was only 68. But he looks like a locomotion. He was really powerful and always rolling his eye, and he had a super expression. That was why he showed. He showed where he was a show horse. Really, he wanted to be a show horse and impress people. And it was really funny character because I always said he is a professor. He knows now we have competition, and I have to be obedient.
Yes.
To me and to listen to me. And at home he was sometimes really naughty and really strong because he had the problem he couldn't see on the right side, but he could hear. And when he could hear something but he couldn't see, then he was really, really taking off, and I was somewhere.
And Christine would disappear around the showground.
Yes, sometimes, yes.
But you had a way of trying to overcome that, didn't you, at shows? Didn't you used to walk him around and round to show him his environment and make sure he knew where he was?
That actually Mr. Wall did. He was walking with him, for example, in Goodwood, the place was quite difficult. In Goodwood was very busy all around, and Mr. Wall walked him around the arena in the morning because he thought he must know every noise, so he doesn't take off when some noise is coming, the microphone or from the tent or for whatever, from the stable or around. And so he was walking with him, and so he get used about the noise. That was the reason why.
Yes, and that, so of course, that was in Goodwood. That would be the alternate Olympics in 1980.
Yes, yes.
Where you ended up, but of course that was 1980. You had already become the Olympic champion by then with him in Montreal, and that was an interesting story because he had to travel, of course, from Switzerland to Montreal. Tell us about that, because there was some excitement with that journey, wasn't there?
Yes, we had a problem because we were waiting on the Zurich airport, and then exactly there where the planes are starting. And then that was such a noise that he gets very crazy in his lorry, and then we have to give him he was really damaging the lorry, and then we have to give him an injection. And then finally, when he was in the plane, then he was quiet. And just we have some turbulence, and but anyway, the turbulence, the horses get afraid, and then you have to be with them. Yeah, that's when they get panicking. Yes. And but normally he was a good traveling boy. Yeah, he was really nice to travel with him. Yeah.
Yeah, but that must have been a worry, of course. But you arrived in Montreal in good time, didn't you? You had some weeks to prepare for the Olympics. What was he like to ride then when he was getting really fit, Christine? Obviously, we all knew that he was strong, but when you were preparing for that Olympic Games, did you think here was possibly a chance of being an Olympic champion with this horse?
I was already Europe champion the year before. I was the favorite for the Olympics, but the place was very, very difficult because the spectators were higher, and it was like for the feeling for the riders getting in a hole down.
Yes.
And for Granat was very difficult because then he wasn't used to have the spectators on the side so high on a hill, around the hill, and then so it was very difficult. And the first competition we had was just compulsory, so just the ones who wanted to go could go into the arena and to get used about the horses to the arena. And it was just, I think, a M level, a medium level, just to show the ground to the horses. And he was awful with me the first competition on the little level. And so the German, they were thinking I was cheating, just extra doing badly. So they couldn't see how good he was. But I couldn't do better anyway. It was horrible to ride with him the first time. And in the Grand Prix, I was only, I think, 6 points in front of Harry Bolt because it was difficult for us in this arena. And then Harry Bolt said, well, now we can get her. And he thought he's very close to me and he will win the next competition. But in the next competition, in the Grand Prix Special, he was so perfect. And then the wife of Harry Bolt said, oh, she was so good, you cannot beat her, because he was after me. And I said, oh my, that's from the
psychological, yes.
Yeah, way. It's actually a little bit difficult when you say, before you have to get in. She said to him, you can never beat her because she was so good. And then I had more than 70 or 80 points. I had very high points in front of him, then I was winning, yeah.
Yeah, that was
But
amazing.
I was sure I was winning because at home I knew it's my Olympics. I had in my feeling, I can not tell you why, but I had in my feeling that's my Olympic.
Yes, well, as you said, you had success with him at the European Championships before, so you had good preparation, but you never know that you've got an Olympic horse until you win that Olympic medal. But you won so much with him, Christina. He really was a horse of a lifetime for you, wasn't he? Because he came along right at the beginning of your international career.
I mean, he won everything what he did after then. He was the only horse in the whole world until these days who was 5.5 years unbeatable.
Yes.
5.5 years, and it never happens before and never happens after. And it is really incredible to having a horse nobody wanted to have, and they were laughing first to me, and they said, that's a courage horse. They said on the microphone in Dortmund, you must imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that it's a carriage horse on the microphone, official.
And they won't say that now, huh?
No. But for me, it was a little bit shocking because I like my horse, I love my horse, and I was a little bit shocked that they tell from Granada such in that way. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you were able to prove them wrong, and you finally had the last laugh, as they say.
I think so. Yes, finally. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it really was a wonderful partnership with him, and you also made a lot of history there for Swiss dressage, Christine, because of course people will remember Henri Chamartin, who was a very famous Swiss rider who came along before you, but then as a woman you really did steal the limelight for Swiss dressage, and you were dressage champion, of course, for many years, but you also, I think, hold a record for a Swiss sports person in the Olympics, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is
and also for the championship, because I was winning 14 championships with different horses, but it never happens before also. And also with the medals, I have 25 medals.
25 in total. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Where are they, Christine? Do you have a nice case at home?
Yes, a very nice one, yeah. Yeah, in the dining room, and it was also with granite, it was with tanzanite, it was with Goga, and so we had quite many years success, yeah.
You
also
did.
Goga did 2 Olympics, so I had also there with Goga several medals, yeah.
Yeah, well, I wanted to mention Gauguin because that, of course, was a wonderful partnership.
Really, Granat was the longest and the most famous, I would say, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then came Gauguin. And Gauguin really was your last international partner, wasn't he?
No, Aquamarine was the last one.
Aquamarine after
that.
Yeah,
what I had in Sydney, and actually I was on the 8th place the year before on the Europe Championship. I finished 8th. And I was also in the ranking, I was on I think, even on the 6th place in the ranking. 5th or 6th place in the world ranking. And then I came to the Olympics, and then it was something happened. I have, until today, I have no idea why I get punished so hard. And then Marietta Vitage said, I said that the churches are not good or are like a mafia, but I said, Marietta, I never said this because I had no reason. I was 8th on the Europe Championship. I was in the ranking in front. And so I had no reason to say anything about the churches, and I don't know who say something, but I didn't. Right. And they punished me with 63%, what I never had before. With Aquamarine, I was always over 70, always.
Yes.
We hadn't the percent so high as they have now. At that time, and we never had 80 or whatever they have now, 90, or they have really records now. And I think sometimes we had also good riding, and it wasn't less bad as they think it was before. And I think we had a good level that time. Maybe it has a little bit some problems with horses. They maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 horses had a nice piaffe, and the rest had a normal piaffe. But now everybody is piaffing because they have other methods.
Yes.
And sometimes methods I don't like so much, but anyway, is more horses do a nice piaffe now. That's the only difference I can see.
Yes, that's interesting. I mean, over the years you've seen so many changes. Were you always interested in dressage, Christine, when you were a small girl? How did you first start to get into the sport?
Well, actually, I was less ambitious to go into the sport, but it came to me. And even when I was a junior, I had a horse from a very, very strong, heavy man, and it was a very ugly, big horse, very long in the back, very big head, and very, very heavy horse. And nobody thought that's a horse for a junior. And I was allowed to ride him, and then Mr. Wall said, "Oh, well, it's good going with you. You can go in a competition." And it was a very important competition, the most important competition in the year, because it was the expo in Lausanne, and this is all 20 years one times. And it was in this national exposition, and was really big competitions with Chamartin was competing, Fischer was competing, all the big names. And I was in a junior competition and was with this awful horse, really the most ugliest horse you can imagine. I finished second. And then everybody was saying, the Chamartin said to my mom, "Oh, why, the little girl here, she will be a good rider." And my mom said, "Well, she just started and she's admiring you so much," my mother said to Chamartin.
Oh.
And he said that time when he had seen me on this big ugly horse, he said, "Oh, she will be a good rider."
Wow, that was something to remember for the rest of your life, coming from
I
him.
I will, for sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was your mother into horses, Christine? Did you have family in
Yes,
horsemanship?
my mother was really like me, crazy about horses and animals and dogs and everything what an animal is. And my love for horses is absolutely from my mom, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
She was riding also in Switzerland and also in England, when that was some years ago was very important that the Swiss girls go to England to learn perfect English.
Ah, right.
Yeah, and there she was riding, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, certainly you inherited that with your very good English too.
Oh no, my English I forgot a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's much better than my Swiss German. I've forgotten so much of my Swiss German now. I want to talk about your other horses and what you're doing now, Christine, because you are still actively riding horses each day, and you have stallions. Tell us about the operation that you have, the business that you have now in Switzerland.
Well, I do a lot of clinics. I go now to Berlin and Leipzig, and I have 2 clinics there now this weekend. And I have clinics in Austria, and I have also clinics in France and in sometimes in Italy. And I have very nice students also competing until from lower level until Grand Prix, every level. And I have marvelous horses in my stable. I said I have to get so old to have so nice horses. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you certainly have. How many horses do you have currently in your stable?
I have now 15, yeah.
15, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
And how many of these are breeding stallions?
2 of them are gekürt, and the others are not selected, but they are marvelous stallions. It's just a dream. I'm just enjoying to see them and also to ride them, and I'm so happy. And for me, it's not necessary that every stallion is a breeding stallion.
Right. Did you always prefer stallions, Christine? Is this that you got along with them so well, or was it just the individual animal that you would prefer to keep as a stallion?
Well, stallions are very sometimes little less easy to ride because they have such a big personality, and I was used from Granat to cooperate with big personalities like Granat was. So I can very good handle stallions, very, very good. I find always a compromise before they get strong or before naughty or something, and we really have a good cooperation, really. Mm-hmm. And I like to ride stallions. Really, I like it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And do you have some mares? Do you do some breeding with them, or do they just use stallions for other people's mares?
I have 3 mares, but I'm not breeding in my home because it's too small. The fields are too small, and so I'm always buying my horses as a filly.
Right, right.
All my stallions, all my horses as a filly, yeah.
Yeah, and you bring
I'm
them...
not breeding anymore. I did, but in Switzerland, the country is so small, and the fields are so small, and it's not for me. You need the wide, big fields like in Germany, and I had all my foals growing up in Germany, and never in Switzerland. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're still as busy as ever then. A lot of traveling, a lot of riding
yes.
horses. Do you still compete, Christine? Do you get in the show ring?
No, last year I wanted to compete, but I was rebuilding my stable, making big boxes, and changing my stable, and so I hadn't time. And as I was traveling so much, it was never time. So last year, this was the first year I didn't compete. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I was too busy. I did so many things. Yeah, I'm also president of a child organization to help children in the third world.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
And we do a lot of for children and the mothers for having water, having something to eat, or also so they can have her own vegetable, so they have also work. They are busy. They get maybe a goat or a cow or something. We don't give too much money, but we build schools for water. They have enough water, and we support them very much in this way. Yeah.
In which countries is that then, Christine?
Is Burkina
oh yes, Burkina Faso.
Yep. Yeah,
yep.
And Sudan, and also the really poor countries, Yeah.
Yes, that's
and also some in Haiti, and we really do on different places. There where it's really necessary, where the big organization, they don't go there, so we go there because they have it's necessary. Yeah.
That's wonderful. What is the name of the charity, Christine?
It's Kinder in Not, maybe children in
children in Not. What was that name?
Not is just forgot the word in the moment. Is when they have really hard life. They are really on the end, really.
Oh, in poverty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Children, Kinder in poverty. Yes, okay.
Yeah. And it's a Swiss charity organization. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we'll put that name on our show notes on the website so people can find out more about that charity.
Yeah, it's a nice one. We have very popular film stars, movie stars, opera singer. We have singers. We have really famous people in there. They help us really nice with her profession and support us, and really super. Skier, we have Bernard Russi, the World Championship winner, and really famous people, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's good, because Switzerland does have the best skiers in the world. Let's not forget.
Yeah, it's always between Switzerland and Austria.
I know.
I
wasn't going to mention Austria, Christine. I was just going to stick with Switzerland.
Yeah.
You know, promote the Swiss skiers because.
Oh yes, and Martina Hink is the tennis player. Is also by us. Yes.
Of course.
She's and
then that man called Roger. What's his name? The other tennis player.
Roger Federer. Unfortunately, we hadn't the occasion to talk with him about our organization, but I'm sure when he can hear what we are doing, I'm sure he will help. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yes. He's such a nice guy. Yeah,
he is such a nice
guy. Whole Switzerland is admiring him.
Yeah, well, the whole world is admiring him.
Yeah, really. It's also such a super fantastic human being.
Yes, he really is. He really is.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his, and Switzerland has produced not just dressage riders, but good show jumpers, good tennis players, good skiers too, and a whole lot more.
For a little country, it's
For a
quite a
little
lot,
country.
yes.
It is. and wonderful cheese and chocolates and
Oh, yeah.
watches.
Oh, yes, yeah. Especially on Easter, we eat a lot of chocolates, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's wonderful, Christine. It's great to catch up with you because we know so many of the same people, and it's great that you're still as busy as you are in the sport and still enjoying it and reflecting on, I'm sure, a wonderful competition career with horses and what dressage has done for you. You must sit down at the end of the day and be very content with what you've achieved.
Oh, yes, I did, because I have also many students from different countries. I have from Italy a student, I have one from Germany, I have one from Poland, a very nice girl, and she will also compete my young horses. And I have now a girl from Slovenia here, and I have from all the countries coming to me, and I enjoy so much to work with young people and to teach them, and they can also ride on my horses. And I have 2 Grand Prix horses, and the 3rd Grand Prix horse is on the way.
Oh, yes? Oh, good.
Yes. Yeah, it's the best. It's a approved stallion from Verden. Mm-hmm. And if I find a good rider, like I like so much Steven Peters, mm-hmm. and I would immediately give my horse to him because it's a top international horse.
Wonderful. Now, I hope you take some of these students down to Rapperswil to watch Freddie Knee with his horses. Do you?
Oh, yes, I will. I take them also to the circus tomorrow.
Oh, marvelous.
Yes.
Well,
yeah, because he is here tomorrow in our village, in our town here, just by my village here, close to my village.
Oh,
and I take them to this place also. They learn how to have dressage from the ground, freestyle, as in working from the ground, and also they can see how fine they ride. I like this way of riding very much.
Yes, beautiful. A pleasure to watch. And I envy you that, Christina, when you go and see Freddie and the horses again. Enjoy that. And thank you very, very much for coming on the show. It's great to catch up with you.
Thank you very much, too. Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, that was great catching up with Christine. Some fun memories of Switzerland for me there, too. You'll find our show notes over at dressageradio.com, and as always, you can leave your comments, questions and suggestions over on our Facebook fan page. I'm Chris Stafford, and I will be back next week with more news, views and interviews from around the world of dressage. So until then, thank you all for listening.